Rusk County.
I think it's just Rusk County, all lowercase. I think.
Okay.
One less thing to remember.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, just.
No.
Yeah, yeah.
But you're not yes.
No, we're not guessing.
I didn't see one yet.
Yeah.
From where?
Oh, is that what that's in?
Detroit.
I was gonna say.
You're not subbing
Okay.
anywhere? You're not leaving that business? No, you're free. Free to criticize. Well, yeah, constructive criticism, being critical. Which is, and to bring back, perspectives.
All right, we're gonna call the meeting to order. The sheriff called me a little bit ago and advised that he was not able to attend the meeting this morning. So I will call for the pledge of allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Next item on the agenda is approval of the minutes for June 27th. Has everybody had an opportunity to read that, and are there any additions or corrections?
I think I looked at them last night. Aaron Webster wasn't here last time. Were you, Aaron? Last month, I think it was listed as you being here, but I don't recall that you were.
One of the times I was not, I don't remember.
Yeah.
I think it was last
Sure he
time.
wasn't. So just with that change, I would make a motion to approve.
All right. With that correction, would I have a second for the motion, please? Well done. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, minutes are approved. Captain Murray is not here today.
He's out for medical.
Oh, okay, that's right, I remember that now. We had the recovery court quarterly review, last month, so that's all done. Recovery court progress is the next item on the agenda. Would you care to share that with us?
Oh, for recovery court? Sure.
Yes.
So right now, we currently still have one applicant who phased up to phase 4 last week. She is doing amazing. We're going on close to 300 days of sobriety. She is, very, ready to take on life sober. She wants to become a peer support counselor. So we recently, received an email where there is a training available for them, that she came in my office yesterday and is 100% excited about doing it. So she will be attending that. And there is a graduate that graduated, not that long ago who wants to take that course as well. We received 2 applications yesterday, a male and a female. The female will be able to start pretty quickly. The male is still finishing up some sentences in other counties. So we should be able to get him in shortly after that. We submitted and it was approved for our pre-application for the TAG grant. And now we will just be working on getting all the, documents finished for the final application or full application in October. The recovery court website, through the ruskcounty.org Facebook or website page has been updated, so it's more, up to date. There's a referral option in there for anybody to make a referral for anybody they know. And we will be attending the National Night Out first time in 10 years. So we'll be, getting items ready for that in the coming weeks. That's about it. Yes.
Are we
we able to support those people that wanna get the peer training?
Yes,
Okay.
so the one female that is participating right now, we will be able to cover that for her because she's in the program.
Okay.
The other female, there is, scholarships available through that class. So she is able to apply for a scholarship for it. There's only 10 positions open for the training, whether or not they get in it or not, we'll get them enrolled today, and we'll just wait to hear, but
I
yes.
think that's good. I
Yep.
think that's an excellent idea, thank
Yeah.
you.
And that's all we got.
I wanna add that, Angie is doing phenomenal. She's one step ahead of, even us figuring out a good training process, so to have a website already, to have, the application online, she's updating the handbook, she has updated several policies that we're just waiting to come back to the program review committee here to do. The handbook will be electronic, so we don't have to update paper copies for the participants. She's recruiting, she's doing public relations and public awareness. We're gonna, ask to be on the agenda in September for the county board to give a presentation. And I think for the first time ever, Angie can go out in public, she has done all of her homework, must be working a lot at the evenings as well, to know what's going on, because there's a lot to learn, and, she is so on top of things, and the participants and every team, the members, everyone is very, very happy with her. It's incredible, the amount of work and how far things have come in less than 2 months. It's amazing.
I think I'd like to add that overall, the drug court now is much more organized than it had been since I've been involved, which was, I don't know, 4 or 5 years now. But much more organized, and the big advantage is with Angie coming to the jail, already knows who the key players are. And as we all know, jail can be kind of a revolving door up there, but it's not, that took a significant end off the learning curve for knowing who was out there and where the drugs are and what the problems are and the reoccurrence. So I have to compliment her too. She's been doing fantastic.
And not only the 2 applicants that we have, we're getting a lot of inquiries.
Yeah, we have 2 new applicants, and yesterday I sent I sent one more down to the jail, and I had an individual that picked up another application on Monday, so we actually have 2 applications we've received back with 2 in the hopper, so possible potential for more coming in the next couple weeks, with a few more that would be recommended shortly.
So not only do we have the perfect person for the job, but, it's a big testament to the fact that this program cannot run without a coordinator. I mean, just to see
I don't
the
know how it
difference.
did for a year and a half, there was a lot of stuff that.
Easy, thanks to Rich, we got together.
No, I did very little on that, other than to maybe keep it alive. That was about the extent of it, so. So, next item, is discussion and possible motion on review of the bylaws. We did not meet as an executive committee to go over those yet. They've been out, and there's some changes, and I'm speculating that everybody got copies. Is that correct, Brandon?
In the email.
Okay. So I don't know if you've had an opportunity to look over that. I think, unless I'm wrong, the proper procedure would be to look those over, and then the executive committee meet sometime during the upcoming month so we can present those at our next meeting. So, does anybody have any comments, or do we need a motion on that? Judge?
Well, yeah, that's the procedure. The procedure according to our bylaws is the executive committee makes recommendations to the full board, as to modifications in the bylaws, okay? Now, I reviewed these again, and here's my understanding for what needs to be done. And I'll put it in the form of a motion that the executive committee formalize this, and bring it back so that we can get these so that they're accurate. stickler on accuracy. If you're gonna have bylaws, you're gonna have them, you're gonna follow them. Otherwise, you don't have them. That's my rule, okay? Your rule may be different, but that's my rule. Then there are some errors in here, things that are incorrect. For example, I believe in January, all the standing committees were dissolved. I think maybe by the consensus of this group or whatever, but they were disbanded, but they're standing committees in our bylaw. I think those need to be eliminated. At the same time, all the proposed changes that are on this copy that you got that are in red were ratified by this group sometime first year, and those changes were adopted. So what I see is the only standing committee is gonna be the program review committee and all the language associated with that. All the other things indicated in red were approved by this board. The one thing that I want to ask consideration of, and I know during the year that I was the chair, we made a number of modifications to the bylaws. Unfortunately, our recorder, must have torched all the minutes, because evidently they're just not available for a number of years that we have the same recorder. And one of the changes in the bylaws that we made, during my tenure as chair, was this requirement of the annual report to the county board, which has not been done. I'm happy to hear that it's back on the table here, but for some reason that was lost, and I want that one back in here. I think, especially given what's happened in the last year and a half, 2 years, it's absolutely essential that we do everything that we can, in my opinion, to educate this board so that we can hopefully get some support. I mean, we're fighting tooth and nail and have been for years now. And we anticipate or we suspect that they know what's going on, and we don't even make an annual report to them. Well, I would guess most of them still don't even know we exist. We haven't had a county board chair who's a member of this council participate in, what, 4 years?
3.
At least 3. And they've not been to one meeting. Well, we have a provision in our bylaws that if those members who are stated in the bylaws as permanent members of this committee don't appear for 3 meetings, we're supposed to eject them. Now, I'm not suggesting we eject the county board chair, but something's wrong. That they have so little concern about what this group is trying to do. Primarily make this county a safer place. And trust me, with a strong treatment court and other alternatives to incarceration, this could be a safer county. It could be, much better than it is. And the research is all there to suggest how we can go about doing some of these things. And we're not doing them.
Right.
But this body's supposed to be the impetus for that. And so, I would like the executive committee to put that back in, that annual report to the county board. I think timing is important. Now, the grant is what, about September, October? October, but my suggestion when we originally did this was to put it in May. Now, that's when the budget discussions start in all the departments and so on, I think. That's pretty typical for counties. They start in May, June, and that's when they're putting their budgets together, so that by fall, it's pretty much dried ink. And so if we're gonna have an impact, especially a budgetary impact, I really think we have to get in maybe a little bit earlier, but I'm very happy that at least it's scheduled for September. So that's my suggestion, that the executive committee consider having that, taking away the standing committees. I don't see any other language really that needs any modification, at least from my perspective, and I'll be quiet.
We will work with Miranda and set a date sometime prior to our next meeting, and hopefully a couple weeks prior to our next meeting, where the executive committee can sit down and work on the bylaws and get a final draft in front of this group to be voted on by the next meeting. Before I move on, did you wanna entertain that as a motion, or are we okay with that, or?
Well, the impetus is supposed to come from the executive committee, so I just asked that we put it on as a discussion item, so if you want a motion, I'd be happy to make it.
I don't think it's necessary, I think we're just gonna go ahead and do that and move forward on that.
Thank you.
Before I go into the next agenda item, we have a matter here that I have to discuss and move forward on that. We have a letter here from the sheriff. It says, "Dear committee, as of July 23rd, 2024, I'm stepping down as the chair of the CJCC chairman. This is due to issues that may be shared at a different time, signed by Jeff Wallace, sheriff." So that's kind of surprising. I think we should probably open it up for motion for chairman at this point, to move forward, and then we'll discuss the rest of the items on the agenda, if that's, I think we'll need a motion to open it up to elect a new chairman.
Well, I'll make a motion to accept his resignation.
Can we elect a chairman if it's not on the agenda?
No,
No,
I don't think
probably
so.
not.
but I think procedurally, that's another thing that all officers are to be recommended to this group by the executive committee, and then brought to this committee to vote on.
Okay, we'll discuss that when the executive committee meets.
I think that's appropriate.
All right, having said that, the next item on the agenda is the Hope
Well, we have
Consortium.
to finish by accepting his resignation.
Oh, that's right, motion on the floor, to accept the
Second.
sheriff's resignation.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, moving on. Next item is the Hope Consortium. What I have here, I did attend the meeting last month. I don't have my calendar, so I can't remember what date. But I've come to realize that the Hope Consortium can supply a lot of resources that we were not aware of, going forward, through Marshfield Clinic, so that should be a big help. There's a letter of agreement here that needed to be signed by the sheriff. If it was okay with this committee, we can change that. We have to get that in because we're approaching the deadline on that to get signed. If it's okay with the committee, we will change that from the sheriff being chair to my name on there as co-chair, and sign that and get that forward to them, if that's okay with everybody.
So anybody who doesn't know, the Hope Consortium is, under Marshfield Clinic, and they have the family, what is the title? Family Health Center?
Right.
Health Clinic
Yeah.
here in town.
It's
They,
prevention, treatment, and recovery.
they started quite a while ago, and it, I don't know if it's always been called that, but when they first started, they were not taking high-risk, high-need people, because of security and the comfort level of people going there. They now are much more evolved, and a lot more things are happening. They have a recovery coach through the AmeriCorps and an assessor. So, partnering with them is very beneficial for the drug court, and Rich went to the regional meeting because Angie was at another training. They too are very excited that, we will be more involved, so I think it really is an integral part of expanding the resources in Rusk County. I myself wasn't even aware of really what they were doing anymore, and it turns out they're doing a lot more than what we thought, and they do want to partner with us, so this memorandum of understanding is a standard MOU, which just says you'll be a part of it, you'll work with them, you'll attend the meetings. It was approved by, Justice Youth and Extension last month, so I think the chair will, well, he doesn't need to sign it, but the sheriff wasn't willing to sign the MOU until it was approved by the by that committee, and they approved it, but the sheriff still hasn't signed it, so, I will make the motion for Rich to, sign that as, the vice chair, now acting chair, in the absence, or in the resignation of the sheriff.
Second.
Is that at the Indian Head building?
We haven't really figured, we think,
The old
No.
convent, it's at the old convent, right?
I think it's on Fritz Avenue.
we
Yeah,
think it's,
Yeah.
It's
yeah,
like the
if
sign
there's
shop,
like,
the sign, like the
Oh, it
sign
is?
shop area or right?
yeah,
Mhm.
Did they used to operate out at Indian Head?
No.
Yes, yes, they did when they started.
Oh, they,
Because
oh,
they
yes,
gave it-
you're right, they were in the, because they
'Cause
had
they
a
were
big
gonna-
meeting in the meeting area, in the chapel.
Yeah, well, and then there, is this the same group that was gonna like, so they were gonna have addicts coming in and getting treatment and Suboxone and stuff like that,
Yes.
right?
Yep, the one that Abby Lancaster went to and she was gonna run, yeah,
Yeah, okay.
yeah. So now they're, like I said, they're much more involved and they're doing a lot more things and accepting anyone who meets the needs.
I actually stopped in there yesterday and was talking with them, cause Embrace has a partnership with them, and I'm pretty sure they like tripled their numbers from where they were at before,
I'm
so
sure.
they're serving a lot of people.
Yeah.
So I think it would be a wonderful partnership.
Yeah, I took a tour of their facility down in Marshfield also, and they've certainly expanded their services significantly, going forward, and there were some questions if they were gonna be any contributing use to drug court, at that point, and now it's apparent that they would be, and it would be a good resource for us, as far as, the possibility of inpatient treatment and even AODA assessments and things of that nature that we've struggled to get in the past. So there's a motion on the floor, do we have a second?
I did.
Judge Stewart, second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, next item on the list is Marshfield Community Grant, and I don't know what that's about.
Okay, so we have, about $1,900 left over in our community grant program, and Angie and I were talking, she is appearing at National Night Out. I don't think for $1,900, we're gonna hire another CJCC coordinator. The purpose of this grant, at least based off of the application, which was done by someone who no longer is here, was to advance increased general knowledge about health under the umbrella of alcohol and substance abuse. So looking for guidance on how to spend out the rest of that money.
so that would fit under,
Expenses originally, I mean, those expenses
Yeah.
are not a lot.
no, there's, I don't even think it's not even gonna come close to, we might spend $500, but that's only because we don't have a banner. So our biggest purchase would be purchasing a banner for recognition and then little goodies to give away to the children that come. for the night out.
What is the deadline for use?
1 year. So we need to use it kind of now, or it's, we just give it back.
Anybody have any suggestions on where we can apply that money? Doug?
I'm gonna suggest that we direct the recovery court coordinator to come up with some potential uses of that.
You get a car and you get a car.
But you know, rather than us sit around and say, well, I need some paper clips or whatever, to spend out $1,900, it seems to me the highest and best use would be for an active program that we're trying to get going again. And I don't know, there always seem to be needs for resources in recovery and treatment courts. So I didn't mean to pick on it.
No, that's fine.
But I think rather than us trying to decide what we're gonna do with it, the other alternative would be to, for example, the district attorney's office has talked for some time now about some type of diversion, program. I don't know if we could, it would be useful to initiate some changes there. I don't know, but
Well, funny you should mention that.
That was weird, let's talk about that.
I was just talking to the judge about that, just yesterday, and,
may be a little manpower intensive, so we're looking, at some options, that maybe bringing in some interns. Although the local colleges are a little far away, but, we're looking for options and how we deal with the manpower that's gonna be necessary to keep track of a lot of that information. So yes, there's something there. I don't know that $1,900 is going to do anything to resolve our issue, but, since you brought it up, yes, we are looking at it. And we're gonna try to figure out a way to make it happen.
Why don't you just stockpile for future public events, you know, supplies,
Right.
whatever you're buying for National Night Out would be good for the other community
Like the
events
health
that we
and
have.
wellness
The health and
fairs.
wellness, the spring expo or whatever that is that they have down
It's gotta
there.
be spent, might as well
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
stockpile.
We don't- Yeah. And the display.
Is there anything you can do, as a display or information item for the
She just
fair
said-
coming up or anything of that nature?
It's something that I could look into, I mean, like, just like Kevin said, just to have a stockpile so that if something comes up, we have the ability to be like, hey, we can be there and we have stuff ready to go. Even if we, visited schools every once in a while for some kind of thing, like they used to do, I don't know, they used to bring canines to school or whatever, have like a day or whatever where you visit the schools with little handouts or whatever, and just say, even like, Edge with Bert would be a good, collaboration too. We could spend some money on that, coloring books, whatever, just things for kids to, let them know that we're out there.
Actually, is that a corporate expenditure under the grant?
I would think so.
Oh yeah, Sobriety Union Stars is coming up in September too. So there's even that possibility as well.
Well, I know when I worked with stuff for RYP, there's like frisbees and what have you that are relatively inexpensive.
Oh yeah, cause I went to Oriental Training Company to get most of the stuff for the National Night Out, and they got all kinds of stuff that you can do personalized, so.
Right.
We can.
While we're talking about diversion, just so you know, maybe a thought, but because we received TAD funding, we're in a non-competitive year, but we still have to do our application. But that makes Rusk County eligible to apply for other monies in October as well. Can't use TAD money the drug court money for a diversion program, but we can do an application for a diversion program in October. So, remind me when we talk more about it, I'll give you the information.
Sure, that'd be great. I've already talked to my boss, and my boss is all for it. You laugh, but, I am not the district attorney, even though, a lot of people think that I am the district attorney. I am not the district attorney. I am an assistant district attorney, and I do have a boss. So,
Hide behind that one.
Her name is
Well,
Maureen.
That sounds like a way around ducking the issue. All right, and take care of the business on the agenda. Next meeting date is August 22nd, 2024. Yes.
I hate to get a stickler here, but, I wanna say that, Brenda, I appreciate the work that you've done as recorder for this organization.
Thank you.
I sincerely mean that, but another topic for the executive committee is if the sheriff is considered the chair, I'm assuming we may lose Brenda. So.
I will stay until I'm told not.
Oh,
I will be here until my boss says no more.
okay.
But I'll be here.
Miranda and I did discuss that
Yeah.
for a second, so I certainly appreciate her commitment.
Absolutely.
Well, I think, just on that subject is, it does become problematic when there's a new chair and then they have to figure out who's going to take all the minutes and then documents get lost. We don't have money for a consistent CJCC CJCC coordinator, which was one of the reasons why we put in the grant to change this position to a criminal justice services coordinator. Because then it can encompass that. And can the drug court coordinator take over those responsibilities? CJCC, we have it because of drug court, so it is interconnected, but, there's just so many duties that Angie has right now that, when Jeremy and I talked about it, it was best to keep it separate until she's fully into that position, but, you know, until, or if we do a criminal justice services coordinator, we have to stick to what is in her job description, and we didn't even get the new job description approved, so, I need to hunt down and find out where, I think in passing from each, chair was this file of everything, and I am not sure what happened to it. I'm gonna look at Drew's old office, and, you know, the problem is, we didn't even have a computer for CJCC until Drew was, hired, and then I did, commandeer that computer because it went back to IT and I didn't want them to destroy it, because I don't know what, everything that Drew had on there, so I do have that. But it still doesn't help us with all of the previous 9 years, so.
If we have items on the computer, can we see that Miranda gets copies of those, or email copies if we can get into it, so.
Sure.
Or I have access to the Z drive too, so if they can just get put on.
Just put on there, and, you know, electronics is way over my head, so I'll talk to Neil, but I wanna at least get everything put on, backed up on a jump drive, you know, before that computer goes anywhere. Otherwise, if you wanna just take it, I'll get a jump drive and do that, and then if you wanna just take the laptop, you can.
Okay, it doesn't matter to me either way.
Okay,
So,
alright,
just
thank
whatever
you.
is easiest.
Yes, I appreciate what you're doing too, sometimes it gets to be a lot,
Yeah, nope, I'll be here until I'm told otherwise.
thank you.
But one other thing, if I could, then along those lines, if we're anticipating that for the next grant cycle, that we're going to go the direction we tried to go last time, I think that should be on the agenda soon, by next month, so we can decide, whether or not that's a route we wanna go to the, criminal justice coordinator as opposed to just, the way things done in the current job description. And I think that's a discussion that everyone here should have, so that by September, you're gonna have to start writing. And, so we need to decide, I think, by August, whether or not that's something we're gonna pursue, that's something we wanna do, and whether it's possible. I mean, that's, being the coordinator of the treatment court is a full-time job. And so adding things like diversion programs and those kinds of things, is a substantial change. And so I really wanna make sure that this group is on board with whatever goes into that grant in October. So,
I think we can put that on the agenda, but also, I think, there has to be some significant revision of that job description. I think we'll need to get human services involved and possibly Ashley to
We did that
We have one, yeah.
refine that a
No,
little
we
bit.
have it, it
We
just met
met.
with the board.
Yeah, it has been revised, it was just not, I'm not sure what the whole was with that. I mean, we have a job description for a criminal justice services coordinator, and we revised the drug court coordinator. But we had to proceed with hiring, I think was the deal, that we didn't wanna hold up interviewing to get the new job description approved, so, that does have to be done, but we'll need a letter for the grant too, and we can do that in August, there's no reason not to do it ahead of time, so if you can make a note to put that on next month's agenda.
And then I have, this is not worthy of a discussion point, the public defender's office has moved. We were in Barron, we're now in Chippewa. Realistically, this doesn't have much to do with Rusk County, because we've never had an office here. But if you send stuff to our Barron address, we're not there. What it might benefit us is most of our defendants will have cases in Rusk and Chippewa, and now our office handles all three counties, and so it might be easier to get cases done, but really, there's no other impact than wearing a busy.
But you have your flow.
We are fully staffed, that is another big impact, so long as cases aren't conflicts, they will get attorneys pretty quickly.
So that is pretty huge, actually.
Yeah, it is pretty big, so knock on wood on how long that lasts.
Alright. Thank you.
Alright, thank you.
Alright, is there any other thing we need to discuss? We will set a date for the executive committee to meet, discuss those items.
No.
Is there anything else going on? I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Second?
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned.
You take care.